Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for waiting. How are you doing today? So, today is day three of our awesome hackathon. And today, with Anna Zavranska from our product team, we will talk about product design. So, what you are building in this hackathon, or what you're generally building, is a product. And a successful product design will take you where you want to be. So Anna is here to share her wealth of knowledge in product design. So buckle up and over to Anna.
Hi everyone. My name is Anna. I'm a product designer at Changing Labs, and today we are going to talk about product design, UI UX principles, Figma, and all that stuff that will help you create the successful product for the hackathon. So I prepared some useful tips that will help you speed up the process. Also, because it's hackathon, everyone wants to move fast. So let's begin. So I will go to the next screen. First of all, let's have a little bit of fun, and please select, drop in the chat the number. How do you feel today? Like comparing to these cats, like what's your mood for today's workshop? Are you sleepy? Are you the cat number 8 playing the guitar? Wow, lots of guitar players. Cool. 5 is dangerous. Okay. Nice. Keep dropping in the chat. Yeah, it's fun to know what's your mood right now. And I will move to the agenda. So we will talk about. We have planned 2 workshops. So today's workshop will cover what is product design. We will talk about the core UI UX principles, product design process from the zero to the end. Also, we will talk about user flows, how to create user flows, why do we need to create user flows, and how to create the wireframes, how to work with Figma, all that stuff. And for the second part, which is going to be on Friday, what about me? I see the comment, what about me? I'm also number 8, the cat. And second workshop will be about more advanced, how to design dApps, the challenges and the opportunities for designing dApps. We will talk about blockchain UX design patterns, creating the design system, creating the prototype, how to conduct user interviews, usability tests, showcasing your project, how to be successful in showcasing your project and highlighting the problem we are solving, and some resources and some books after that. But let's begin, what is the actually product design? Product design is a process for creating successful digital products. And product design helps us to understand user needs and preferences, enhance usability and user satisfaction, differentiate from our competitors, and drive engagement and retention, and solve complex problems effectively and efficiently. So let's start from the first one. Understand user needs and preferences. That's how we understand our user needs and preferences by conducting user interviews. That's one of our job, to understand people, to talk with our customers, to get the feedback. Even when the product is live, we are getting the feedback from every source, from the Telegram channels, from the Google reviews, from everywhere. Basically, when we are testing the product, it's usability testing. When we are testing the prototype, or generative interviews. So we have different ways to validate our ideas. How we differentiate from our competitors, we have to actually know what our competitors are doing. So we are conducting competitive analysis, and plus how to differentiate from them. Also, it leads us to how to talk with our customers effectively. So we ask right questions, so we get that pain point, we uncover that pain points that our competitors didn't uncover. So that's how we become different. So by talking with people and finding their core needs, we can actually innovate and be on top, not like the second, following our competitors. Everything else that I just mentioned drive engagement and retention, because the more user-friendly your product is, um, the more chances that users will stick to your product, basically. So the simpler the product, and the most important, the more value the product has, the more you have chances for that higher retention, so people will stick. That's why user experience is very important. It's very important to solve the problem. It's very important the tech side of the product. But if user experience is not good, it's like very high chance that our users will go and search for alternatives. And yeah, solving complex problem, that's basically the main goal for product design. We are solving the problems. If in one words, what we are doing here. One word, sorry. So let's talk about core UI UX principles, but I didn't say you that. Just feel free to drop any comments, any questions that you have in the chat. I will answer them from time to time. I will review the questions and we will answer the questions, maybe in the middle of the workshop, maybe at the end, but please let's make it the conversation. And yeah, not one-way street, two-way street. So I'm happy to answer your questions. Core UI UX principles. Some principles really, like for Web 2, they work, for Web 3, they work. They are like our base. We cannot skip them. So if we are not following these UI UX principles, our user experience probably will fail. So let's dive into them. So the first principle is simplicity. Sounds simple. Simplicity. We have to keep our interface clean and intuitive. So the less clutter, the better. The less component on the screen you have is the better. It's like the common rule for the product design. I'm using here the example from Uniswap. So you can see the interface is pretty straightforward. There is no noise on the background. There is a main component, in this case is swapping. You put the amount in Ethereum, you have to select the token, and I really like here in this example, it's very clear what you have to do, and it's highlighted for the users that you have to select the token. So just keep in mind that help users to understand what's the next step, what we are expecting for a user to do. So the less user think, the better. Yeah, there is an even book, you can find it in Amazon, Don't Make Me Think. It's very popular design book about user experience. And yeah, like, don't make your users think. So they are clearly highlighted. Come on, like, the button is disabled because you need to select the token. So it's intuitive and it's very simple and clean design. The next is consistency. Consistency also helps users to navigate through your product. Right now we are looking at the example Ava, and in that case, if you go to their website and check them out, you will see that doesn't matter to which page you go, the navigation, the top nav, we call it top nav, navigation bar on the top will be the same everywhere on each screen. The header will be on the same place and the same font, the same style. You are switching between the networks the same way. So anywhere you press this drop down, it's gonna work the same way as on this screen, on any other screen. That makes so once the user learn one behavior, he doesn't have to learn another behavior. That's like the goal. And there is another rule, like if you have one function, for instance, I want our users to switch between networks. It's ideally one component, one interaction, one UX flow. So don't create so many ways how to achieve the same goal. It will just confuse the user. So the less, the better. And consistency also, it means keep your fonts consistent, keep your buttons consistent. If your button color is blue, then it should be blue everywhere. If the radius is, I don't know, 16, it should be 16 everywhere. So it makes your design clean. It makes your design actually like looks visually cool. And also it makes easier for the user to understand your product and again think less. So what else I didn't mention? So the icons also. Every style you use, keep the same style on each screen. Colors, interactions, animations, navigation, buttons, everything. Let's go to the next screen. Accessibility. That's about the people with the disabilities. When you're creating the design, you have to make sure that it works for everyone, for people with who cannot see, for instance, properly. So you can adjust the fonts, you can make it bigger, you can make you can make it bold. So the iPhone has I'm showing the iPhone because they're really doing a good job at this. When you go to the settings, you can create the settings, so you can put the voice over, so you can navigate your iPhone with the voice. You can make your text bold. You can make your text all the larger the font. So all that stuff is very important for the people. Plus, think about the contrast that you are using. Like, it's a bad example, for instance, if your background is blue and you're using the blue text on the blue background, it's very not readable. So like keep that contrast in the good level. For instance, black background means white font, like you see on the presentation. All these mini things, they help you to create a good user experience and good UI. Visual hierarchy. So if everything is important on the screen, nothing is important. So I'm asking you to keep that visual hierarchy and organize content to prioritize important information. So on this example, we are again looking at Uniswap. I just opened the NFT page, and you can see that what's important on the screen is the image. Here, obviously, that's the biggest component on the screen. That's like where we want users to be focused on. So they have to look at the NFT first. Second, we want them to notice the name for this NFT. It's a big text and a little bit bold. Then we have the prominent price NFT. And also we have prominent main button, add to back, pink, and yeah, on the black background, it's a high contrast. So like your mouse just go in there to click this button. Everything else is secondary. So trace, activity, the thing here, the date, that's a secondary. But like keep the visual hierarchy for your products, so users know where to focus, because people don't read the information, people scan the information. So our eyes just go to the biggest component, Then they are going to the smallest component. It works pretty simple. So they are scanning. There is a picture, there is a bigger text, another bigger text, the button. Everything else is the secondary. So the better your hierarchy, the more simpler like users navigate through your product. If everything big and bold, then it's very hard to navigate. Then the feedback. We are talking about the feedback. So you need to provide clear and immediate feedback for user actions. And here, like a WhatsApp example, when users send the message, or you send the message, you can see that this message actually, in this case, Tracy already read, or this message was delivered, or there is a problem with the message, so you know immediately the system is responding to you. Or when you editing the message, you see on the example that the message is edited at this time at 9:24. So immediately when you do the action, you see what's going on with your message. She saw the message didn't deliver, maybe it's internet issue, but it's very important. Imagine that you don't know. Imagine that you are sending the message and you don't know what's going on. And now it's a message, it's a simple example. Okay, you don't know, it's not big deal, but think about transaction. For instance, you are sending, I don't know, 5 Bitcoins to someone. That's become big deal for you to know what exactly going on with your transaction. Is it pending? Is it successful? Maybe some issue with the transaction. If you don't see this information immediately on your DApp, exchange, anywhere, then you become very stressed, especially when it comes to the assets that you are sending. That's become so stressful user experience. You have to avoid it as much as you can. That's about the feedback. Then the flexibility. Also, when you are designing, keep in mind different screen sizes. So your product can be for web. It can be a web application. It can be mobile application. Mobile application. There are differences for the design. iOS system, Android system. Can be extension, and also each extension a little bit different. So when you are designing, just keep in mind all of the screen sizes so you maintain the same user experience for all the screen sizes. So like when you are creating the web, at the same time, try to sketch the mobile, how it will look on the mobile. Will it be too cluttered, too busy, or can I put the same component to the mobile? Should I change the component for the mobile too much? Like, consider all these aspects. Emotional design. There is another principle. It sounds like create interfaces that evoke positive emotions and connections. Of course, positive emotions, we don't want our users to have negative emotions because, who wants that? But positive emotions, like look at this owl, like when we are typing the password, she's closing her eyes, and that's like cute, and simple animation will give some life to your product. So think about these interactions as well, and also it involves the feedback, so you know what exactly going on. So you are typing the password, that's why owl is closing her eyes. Think about small things. It's also about the copyright, your text, given your emotions, because your tone is very important. Are you friendly, or are you like serious when you're talking with your customers? Sometimes it's not good to be too much friendly. For instance, think about exchange, like you shouldn't be too too much positive and make jokes because it's related to the money. But when it's appropriate, think about how you interact with your users. It's about visual, but also it's about the copyright. It's also part of the user experience. And then the next, we will talk about the product design process. So how to create the process, how to create the product from zero till the end. Let's start from the research. So that's the first thing we do as a product designers, anyone working on the product design. We need to understand user needs, market trends, and competitors. So how do we understand user needs? Simple, we have to talk with our customers, potential users. So we are conducting user interviews. We are writing the questions related to our product. We need to find out if the problem that in our mind we are solving is an actual problem for the users. And there are like different rules how to do that. The good book I can advise, the mom test. You can Google it in Amazon mom test, one of the best book how to conduct user interviews, and very simple and very short. You can read it in one day, I guess. But there are like set of questions how to find out. One of the techniques like asking why questions, for instance, the user saying like, oh, I'm confused here, and you're asking like why it's important for you, why, and there is a rule like 5 whys, and on the 5 why you have to dig to the truth actually, like people starting to tell them the truth, because at the beginning they want to be friendly with you. No, very rare people saying you the truth, so like from the first question, so you have to be little bit like digging inside. So that's the user interview. We have to know exactly which problem we are solving. Is it really a problem? Because better to find out right now if it's really a problem. If it's not, we better switch to another idea, and we save the money for the development and the time for us. Market trends, we have to do the research what's going on the market right now, so our product is relevant. And competitor analysis, simply like we need to find competitors that are trying to solve the same problem as we are solving, and it's better to know like how do they do that, and if we go deeper, did that succeed to solve this problem, and how did they succeed or no. Like, yeah, you can read the articles. It's not only if competitors doing that stuff it means it's good. It's not only the case. You can go deeper and see some metrics if they really succeeded or just in their products. Don't copy others just blindly. That's also not good. You can end up just going behind your competitors and copy paste. That's the first step, research. Ideation. Ideation is after we know which problem we are solving and we are sure that there is an actual problem that users have. We conducted several interviews, at least 5-10 interviews, and we know that it's a problem. We start to generate ideas and concepts for our product. Simply sketching on the paper, collaborating with your teammates, sticky notes, anything. We are ideating on the ideas. We are brainstorming. The more ideas we have, the better. Then we discuss and select the best ideas. But here it's just like open mind for the big brainstorm, and the more ideas is the better. There is no bad ideas on earth. And after ideation, we are going to create the user flows. So user flows are important for our planning, even like when we are planning the scope of work for the engineering, for instance. In this case, we have to know how many screens we will have. We have to know what functionality we should have. From the design and UX point of view, we have to know the flow that our users, how many screens users should pass to achieve his goal. So, and when we create the user flow, it's also like visually we can say, is it long? It's like simple. Is it long user flow? Is it too many steps for the user to take to achieve that goal? If you already see on the user flow, it takes like 5, 10 screens to achieve that goal, that maybe we can simplify the user flow. And so it's good to do that before any design, before any development. It's very fast. You can do it 1 hour, but it will save you tons of time and for the development, for the design. So, and it will help you a lot how to make your product simple. And now, talking about the user flow, I want to, as I promised, I was thinking about some tips and for little cheating, because we are talking about our hackathon. I understand that you guys have limited time, limited resources, how to do it fast. So when you go to the Figma, I didn't say that. Basically, we are using for the design the tool called Figma. And Tatiana maybe send the link in the chat, in the group chat, that Figma link, so you can go and explore. But we are using this tool for the design, for the brainstorming, for the wireframing, for lots of stuff. That's like the main resource. Yeah, thank you. So I'm already in the Figma, so I will go in the Figma. They have a community. And on the community, it's such a cool cheating point for you guys, because you can find lots of things here. You can find the user flows here, you can find design systems here, you can find icons here, you can find some components here. So you don't have to create them from scratch. For instance, I'm not sure like the audience, if you're a developer, yeah, so it's much easier to grab these components and edit them than create them from scratch, especially when you have a limited time. But also what Figma has, when you create the new file, you will see that you have a Figma file and you have a FigJam file. And right now I'm going to press FigJam board, create the new FigJam board. And I want to show you how to create simply the user flow and how it works. So when you're creating the FigJam used not for design, I can say FigJam used for brainstorming, for maybe some sketching, for user flows, exactly for the journey maps, for more like collaborative work, because you can join the FigJam as a team, like 10, 50 people, and work together on one project and brainstorm, write the stickers. It's like your whiteboard, but when everyone around the globe. Yeah, it's much easier to just hang out here. So how to create the user flow? We are going to the templates. I like to use the templates. You type on the template the flow, and it should pop up here, like flow chart, for instance. We can use the template and it will bring you the user flow. So as simple as that, no need to create the from scratch. It will give you some example, and obviously you can move it around. You can write anything you want inside, so you can edit this flow, but it's like a starting point for you. So you are not creating anything from scratch, it's saving your time. And here we have like example for e-commerce. I guess it's just normal Web 2 example for the e-commerce website, but let's have a look how it works, the user flow. So what they are doing, the first step here, they're entering the website, the users entering the website. Then they're going to the product list page, they're reviewing the recommended item. It's like Amazon, yeah, it's like e-commerce. Identify an item for the purchase, add item to the shopping cart, and then if they need more items, there is an arrow, they're going back and again to the product list page. That's how it works. Basically, you, in your flow, you need to describe each step that users takes in your product. So I'm opening my dApp. Do I need to register? If yes, I go to register, or I'm already logged in. If I'm already logged in, there is the question. Then I'm going to this flow. Okay, I'm going to my home page. From my home page, if it's like, I don't know, your wallet, I want to swap the token. I go to the swap page, will be here, for instance. Then I select the token that I want to swap. So you have to describe each step that user takes to achieve his goal. That's the point. Because once you're done and you created the user flow, and in reality, that's the simple example, of course, the Figma providing you the starting point. It should be much bigger. Like much bigger, different product, different user flow. It shouldn't be much bigger. We have to make it actually the simplest as possible. But maybe at the beginning it will be big, and then you will realize, 10 steps user have to take to just swap the tokens. That's not good. How to make it 3 steps, how to make it 2 steps. So the less step, the better. Keep in mind, at the beginning it might be big, but that's the good start because you can see the whole picture first. And before you create any design and develop any screen, you can actually solve all these complex problems here, right here at the beginning. Okay, let me check the questions little quickly. 1 second. Design principle. Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's go next to our presentation. After the user flow, after we created our user flow, we can jump into wireframing. Wireframing or sketching, actually, like, up to you. Some products depends. Some designers prefer wireframing, some designers do the sketching first, then the wireframing. It also depends how much time you have. If we are talking about the hackathon, you have limited time. So also I prepared some tip how to use our community. So you go to the Figma community and you simply type wireframes. Yeah, and you will see here some couple of options: wireframes kit, wireframer. I found this one is a good one. Wireframes kit looks like this if you follow me, and when you open the Figma, the file, you will see lots of components that you don't have to create from scratch. That's the point I'm trying to achieve, to help you move faster. Because wireframing, we just need to sketch our product, how it looks like, how each screen looks like, what features do we have on each screen, and yeah, what interactions we will have, what functionality we will have on each screen. So let's go to their file. And they have here basically everything. They have a typography for the wireframes. They have, you can see the colors already. So you don't have to think as you are developing your product. They have so many icons. Anything you want, you can move faster. You don't need to create from scratch, and it's all in one file. You can just drag and drop it for... can we have the link? Yes, let me copy the link and send it to the chat. Okay, you can try this link and hope it works. Yeah, if it doesn't work, just maybe make a screenshot. It looks like that: wireframes kit, free wireframing website, and SaaS UI UX. Yep, you can find it later. So they have different components also, the buttons, everything else. Headers for the web, plus for the mobile, for the different screen sizes, the footers. Very cool library, I can say. And plus, they also have already like a blogs. If you are building the maybe landing page, they have already blogs created for you, like with the containers, with the titles, and they're already following some consistency principles. They already make it cleaner. So like little tip for you guys. And plus they have little bit even examples for the landing pages. You can go and explore what they have. It's also good for inspiration. Like for sure you don't have to copy paste because it's gonna be the same, no, but to move faster, to get some ideas from this file, it's cool. And plus it will help you, like it will save you days, I can say this kit. Yep, we were talking about the wireframing. Wireframing also, we are using wireframing for the brainstorming, to show these wireframes for our stakeholders, maybe to show to the users, potential customers, to explain them our product, what's going to be about our product, to show the main features, maybe to conduct usability testing on the wireframes, if it's like, if users get how to use your product. Actually, you can do it on the wireframing stage as well. So maybe with your friends, yeah, again. And you can see in reality how it might look like before you jump into development, before you invest in time and money. That's a good stuff about wireframing. The next step is interesting one, design. Once we've done our user flows, once we have our wireframes, we can actually jump into design. And let me create the design file, and I will show you how our Figma, the tool, works. For some of you, I'm sure it might be interesting. So we are creating the new Figma file. It's not a FigJam, as you can see. It's a Figma file where we are designing. On the left side, we have pages here. We can create how many pages we want. Like first one can be our design. Second page we can name and put here our wireframes. Wireframes, wires, and so on. We can name each page. Plus assets, that's where our components will be. I will talk about the components on our next workshop on Friday. So I'm not going here right now. So we are on the page. On the top, you can see that we have different shapes, rectangles, line, ellipse. Rectangles, the most popular shape for any design, because that's how we create the cards and different components for the screen. When you want to create, for instance, the screen for the web, you press A on your keyboard, just press A, and on the right, you will see different frames. And it depends. If you want to create the design for the phone, you can select, for instance, iPhone 13, 14, and you will have here the screen size ready for you. You don't have to Google and to know the screen size. It's just all on the list. You press an A again, and for instance, you are creating the design for the desktop or for both. You can select this one, that desktop, very popular one. Option, because it fits for most of the cases. Desktop, you create the desktop. And then when we were talking about our wireframe kits, you can actually go here, drag, copy, basically Command C, copy the component and put the component here. And that's how you create the wireframes. Yeah, you can play with different components. Of course, you can create them from scratch. It's just how to make it easier and faster. What else we have here? So when you press the button R, we are creating a rectangle. For instance, if we are creating the card, we can play around with the color for this card. I will zoom in a little bit so you can see here on the right. You can select any color for the card, which is will not be red for sure, will be like maybe gray. Then you can select the stroke, so you can play around with the stroke, and plus also any color you want. You can make it blue, anything. You can select the effects here, effects like drop shadow. It's kind of the drop shadow. It's getting uglier right now with all these strokes and drop shadows, but I removed the stroke. Radius, you can play with radius here on the right. It's like, I prefer to make the radius 16. It looks like cuter. If you're creating the design for iPhone, also they have this feature on the right corner close to the radius. You can smooth the corners for the iOS and make it maybe 60%, and it's gonna be more like iOS style. What else? For the text, when you're pressing the T, you can put the text here on the Figma, and you will see the fonts here on the right. You can select any fonts. Please don't select fonts like this, because they are very pretty maybe, but they are not readable for the user. So when you are thinking about the font, think about Roboto is good one, Inter, Helvetica. That these fonts are safe, I can say, and it's easy to read them. They have lots of varieties, so you can make them bold, you can make them thinner, and plus it's not risky to choose them. Right now it's Inter, you can make them bolder, and you will have the text here. Right now it's very small. Let's make it bigger. The font size you can play here. Alignment also. So you can make it center alignment, you can make it right alignment, left alignment. I would say go and play with Figma. They have so many features. For the prototype, and when you see we're on the design section right now, when you go on the right to the prototype section, it just helps us with these arrows to create the interactions between the components. So when I'm, for instance, I'm pressing this button, I will open this component. It's just for instance, because I'm going to talk about the prototyping on the next workshop, but that's so you know what prototyping means. Once we have the screens here, we can create a navigation between the screens. And this prototype will help us to conduct usability testing. So we'll have kind of like live product, which is not live without any code, but it looks live. That's about the design. Let me see what I didn't mention here. So we have layers, we have the frames, we have the shapes, text. That's I was talking about the creating components. Again, I want to cover it on the next workshop with you guys. And another tips, for instance, you wanna create the product. It's a hackathon, no time. There are design systems that you can actually use without creating the components from scratch. So if I'm going to the community, I'm in the community right now, and they have pretty cool material design kit, this file. It calls Material 3 Design Kit. When you're opening it in Figma, it will give you again like a base, like safe start, how you can start and create these components not from scratch. And that's for UI design. I was talking about the wireframes just like internal to brainstorm ideas, but here actually you can use it for UI design. They have colors, but obviously you can select your colors. It's just like a beginning, starting point. They have multiple components like chips. You can select date pickers if you need them, dialogues. Yeah. So again, like I'm encouraging you to explore the community. Plus, when we are exploring these components, how they work, you are learning how to work with Figma better and faster. When you are changing the components, you think about your own components. You can create your own components from scratch, but at least you have example in front of your eyes. And you can grab any components from here. And for instance, I like to use these tags. I take them and I go to my file here and I just paste them here. And I can play with this like a Lego, like if you need the table, if you need, yeah. They have pretty cool stuff here. Yep. Also, if you need some visuals, if you need some icons, you just put the icons. They have different multiple options how to select the icons. The only thing with the icons, I can say, for instance, this file, I don't know which one is this. Keep the same style. When you are using icons, keep the same style for them. If you are using outline icons, don't mix them with the filled icons. Keep your design clean. It's the simplicity I'm talking about, consistency I'm talking about. That's like the core principles. It will help you, it will help the user. So pick one style. If you decided to use filled icons, please use only them. Outline, use only them. Maybe colorful, use only colorful. What else? Okay, illustrations. Also you can find here different illustrations if you want, and different styles. Flat, 3D. Just go play around. That will make your hackathon product, I can say, more successful, and you can make it faster. Okay, what's next? Let me go to our presentation. After the design, we will create the prototypes. I will cover it more on the next workshop, but why we need to prototype our ideas is to validate our design before it goes to the development. Again, same stuff, saving money and saving time on the development. Creating the prototype is much more faster than develop the DApp. So I encourage you, once you have the design, just link them together, link the screens, make it clickable for the user. Again, using the Figma. Show them to users, create the set of the questions and tasks for user to achieve. For instance, if you have little preview, if you are building some wallet and you have again the swap functionality there, create the prototype that will take all the steps, show all the steps that user have to take, and then create the task for the user. Simply on the call, share your screen and ask user to open the prototype, send them to link, and ask them from the home page, like, hey, can you swap Ethereum to Bitcoin? And you just absorb what will happen if user will click on the button which you want. For instance, he go to the swap, then he select the Ethereum, then he select next one Bitcoin, means you're on the right track. If he is confused, he doesn't know where to press, he doesn't know where to go, or he went to the wrong screen which you didn't predict, that maybe that's your opportunity to change the flow. for the U design. Again, it's gonna be the right moment to change the flow rather than you have the built already live product that it's much more difficult to change that flow. So I'm encouraging you to talk with customers as soon as possible and show them the prototype. If it's not even perfect, not ideal, but you will get the point. If you will know that if they're confused or not. Testing after prototyping. I already covered the testing, so we are conducting usability tests to address any issues and improvements. After we've done the usability testing, in 99% cases, you will have some work to do. You will adjust some flow, you will maybe skip some screens, or maybe you will reorder some buttons, or maybe you will work on the copy. The copy is very important for user experience. Keep in mind, like, it should be short, sweet, consistent, straightforward, and tell user what to do. The less text, the better. But also, even if you have the good components, UI components, but text is confusing, it might be the point where users get stuck. And after that, we are launching the product. After our research, ideation, wireframing, user flows, prototyping, and testing, we are launching the product, but that's not the end. It's just the starting point for our iterations. Once you launch the product, be very close with your customers. Listen to them through all the chats as possible. You can use the Telegram, the Discord, where your users are. Maybe they're on Instagram, different products, different areas where your users are, but maybe they will write you Google reviews or in the App Store. Make sure to follow all this feedback, plus talk to your customers, conduct again user interviews, how they work with your product, what's confusing, what's not confusing, because it's just the starting point for you to iterate. It's never ideal. The first launch is never like that's it. It's never that's it. It's never perfect. So you have to always work on the user experience improvements. And yep. Do you have any questions for now? Let me check the questions. What's our homework before the Friday? That's a good question. I would say go to the Figma and explore the Figma file, FigJam, the community. Again, I will show you the community. They have this button, like a web button, and you will see here so many templates. You can use the search to write any word, if it's icon, if it's another word, and it will search for you. That's like good starting point. Plus, you can explore the file. You can explore how to work with the wireframes, with the components. That's the main thing. That's the homework. Explore the Figma. Thank you. Thank you. Great workshop. Okay, let's see. Any other questions you guys have? I'm happy to answer anything that's on your mind. Can you talk about those design principles? Changing Hackathon homepage. I didn't get a Changing Hackathon homepage. I'm not sure if you can explain more, then I'm happy to talk about it. Oh, that's a good question. What's the best to create the color theme and palette? For the colors, yeah, them they have. Let me. I'm sharing the window right now, but I will find the link quickly and send you the link. Adobe, they have good tool to actually pick the colors. Um, 1 second. Okay. And let me share my screen, all screen. Okay. Cool. You can see the screen now. So if you go to the website, I'm going to share you the link here, Adobe. They have this tool. So you can pick the color and it will create the color palette for you. And you have here different options. Triad. You can play around with the square different options, and but it will save you so much time, and you will have less headache to play with this tool rather than create it yourself. For instance, compound, if I select the color red, one of them will be red and it will gives me the alternative colors. It's You have to play with this, I would say, to find the best color for your product, but it already gives you the starting point and cool ideas. It's one of the options. That's the tool I use, Adobe, personally, but you can see how it works. You can play around like that. Cool. Any other questions? Okay, things we just learned. When prototyping, I'm assuming we will be able to plug in links and actions when users click on CTA button and Centra. Yeah, I'm showing this question right now. So when you are prototyping, exactly, you can make each component clickable. For instance, I can show you my presentation one more time. How it works, I'm right now in the Figma, and how it works in the prototype. Here you can see all the screens that I created. I wanted to show you guys, but that's the very simple prototype. When you go to the prototype section, you will see that each screen is linked. So I can link this screen to any other screen. And also if you create the button here, for instance, imagine you will have a button somewhere. You can imagine this is the button, very ugly one, but it will lead, if you press this button, it will lead you to the next screen or to another button, another component. But it's very simple to work with the Figma to prototype because you work with the errors. Okay, user press this button, user go to the screen. User press on the screen, he will go to the next screen. But on the next workshop, I will show you the more like complex way um, how to link different components in one screen and lead them to different screens. Okay. Another question. Yeah, I make my presentations as a prototypes in Figma. Yeah, that's simple. Okay, cool. For instance, for the prototype, I think it's like everyone interested. I can show a little bit more. When we go to the wireframe kits, because they already have the screens, so it's easier for me to show, and they don't have any prototype right now. So you can prototype this button, and you want this button lead to this screen. You can see the arrow. It's just as simple as that. And once we enter this prototype, we need to press the button play on the right corner in Figma. And then we will open the prototype as a separate page without any noise. You will see it right now. That's, for instance, we created the landing page, but this button already clickable. You can see my mouse changed. So when you press the button, it goes to another screen. It goes to the next screen. That's the simplest interactions. We can explore again on Friday how to work with the drop downs, how to make them open in the Figma, and yeah, so many things. Okay, any other questions? I will check. Sit down in Figma. Yeah, please sit down in Figma and spend maybe a day in Figma. That's useful, and explore the community. Super useful for you guys to make it faster. Okay. I don't see any other questions, unless I give you one more minute, maybe.
I see some questions. Is
Okay,
that
cool.
okay if I ask? There were some questions about applying all those principles on our hackathon webpage. So could you walk us through how our hackathon website demonstrates those principles?
Correct. Okay, cool.
Thank you.
1 second. Let me go to our block magic. So it's gonna be design review. Cool. Present the screen. Block magic. Okay. Now you can see the screen. So let me go to the screen myself. I will put it somewhere there. Technical, sorry. Cool. Visual hierarchy. Talking about the visual hierarchy, yeah, we see the header, the block magic. We know what's going on. That's a Chainlink hackathon. We know when it's gonna happen. It's highlighted, and we have the main action button registered today. That's good that we have one main button. One of the things that make your design simpler is to simply don't clutter your interface, and the less buttons you use on the screen, the better. And if you use one, the main one, it's very straightforward. What do you want from user to do? You want from user to register for the hackathon. And also we have a double of this button. We have registered today, but they have the same function. So these two buttons lead into the same action item that we want our users to go and to achieve that goal. Okay, about again visual hierarchy, you can see the 500K is very prominent. So we want you to know as users that you can win up to 500K in prizes. So all your attention right now, as you notice, go right exactly to this point. The goal is achieved by our marketing team because it's straightforward. If it was somewhere, imagine if it was another scenario, it was somewhere in the text, in the paragraph somewhere, in the description, in the overview, you might not notice that. You might not notice this amount. So that's where the visual hierarchy play crucial role. So you'll notice what we want you to notice, and that's important information. Everything else is like additional for the first place, for the second place. It's like a details. It's good to know details, but the main thing is here, and your eye is just going directly to this point. You can see that the simplicity of this website, because there is no clutter of so many components. Yeah, there are icons, but they are all keep the same style. They are not heavy. Heavy means they are not huge, they are not too much filled, they don't use the thick stroke, they don't draw that much attention from the user. So still user focusing on the text, the reasons, on the white text, and icons just additional for the user. So even on the black background, you can see these golden icons. They don't take unnecessary your attention, so you can focus on the text, and it doesn't create a noise for your brain, because you have to separate the icons from the text. So the less noise you create, the better. You can see the schedule, the information that they put on the website is important for the user. There is no extra, I can say, information, something that you don't need. Unnecessary noise, clutter, and unnecessary components. There is nothing like that. That's cool. So you can focus. You can see, the price is that. The first thing they wanted me to do is to register. And probably I will press this button because it's only one button. I don't have any other options. That's good, I don't think, as a user. Plus micro interactions. So you can see, you can focus on each card easily. The learn more, they have a hover state. They had a hover state for the learn more. So you're focused on this. Micro interactions also, you can see it's like a card. We have a block magic theme. So it's, and they're moving like cards. So that's more about the emotional design, which I was talking about. Emotional design, so everything about the magic here. These UI icons, like it's all about the emotion, about the magic. So you feel this magic everywhere when you're exploring the screen. That's like emotional design in practice. Yep. For the consistency, I didn't talk about consistency. Okay, we are using two fonts here on the website. One font for the for the headers, and another font for the subheaders, basically. That's all. We have two fonts, which is ideal. Keep in mind, when you're working on your product, like two fonts, ideally your maximum. Don't go three fonts, font types, five font types. The more fonts you use, the busier the screen. You create the unnecessary noise, and it's become just not pretty as well for the visual design. So that's a consistency. The font is the same. The color for the button is the same. It's the golden. You can see that the links are golden, something that you can click on. Actionable action color is golden here. That's a consistency I'm talking about. So we have fonts, we have buttons, we have clickable components. They keep in the same font, the same color. And that's the landing page. Remember, when you are creating, you probably need to create the landing page for your product. Each product have a landing page. And the main purpose for this page is to make you to register. That's the only thing, that's the only goal for this page. That's why it should lead you to this button, register now. That's why we are highlighting the button first on the main screen. That's why everything else just leading to this outcome. So you're registered for the hackathon. We are reducing the clutter, we are reducing the unnecessary noise, we are answering the questions, providing the resources, the links, but also at the end, we are showing the register today button. If you forgot that it's on top, don't worry, we will show it again at the end. That's the very common pattern for any landing page. Show the action CTA on the top and on the bottom. Don't forget this one. Yeah. The mom test, don't make me think. Yeah, that's a good books. The mom test. I advise you to read the mom test for the user interviews. Don't make me think. For the UX, user experience. Also, the lean startup. It's about everything. It's about ideation. It's about the customer interviews. It's about the launching the product. One of the best books for the startups, if we are talking about the product, in my experience, is a Running Lean, and then second one will be Lean Startups. So maybe a little bit later, below this video, I will share the link to the books, to the list of the books that cool to read. Yeah, and we have good reads. Cool. Cool. Thank you. Any other questions? I don't see any other questions right now. Maybe Tatiana?
No, no more questions. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Anna. Well, thank you all for showing up, and we've had a great session. I certainly learned a lot today. I'm sure you have too, and we set you up for success. And make sure to visit them to join the second part of Anna's workshop. It will be the day after tomorrow, on Friday at 11 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. Today, make sure to join us for connecting AI and blockchains. This will be another workshop that we will lead. Please make sure to tune in, and we will give you the rest of your time back, and see you later today. Thank you so much, Anna. Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye.